Lawsome by ConsultWebs. Breakthrough insights to build a thriving law firm with your host, Tanner Jones.
Hello, everyone. Today on our show, we have Sean McQuaid joining us. Sean is president of the law firm of Battaglia, Ross, Dicus, and McQuaid based in Pinellas County, Florida. Among his many accomplishments in the legal world, Sean is president of the St. Petersburg Bar Association, serving in that role in 2020 and through 2021. The St. Petersburg Bar Association is a professional organization of over 1,000 lawyers and judges, and Sean has unique perspective in the value and the struggles of today's volunteer bar associations throughout the country, and I'm excited to cover this topic with you, Sean. Thank you for joining us.
Tanner, there's that charming Southern drawl that we all know and love. Thanks for having me on the podcast. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. This is a topic that we really haven't covered, and honestly, I haven't seen a whole lot of attorneys speak to the value or even the challenges of bar associations. So it's one that I think our listeners are going to get a lot of value from. So let's just start with the basics, just to kind of set the foundation for this discussion. What exactly is a bar association? And if you could, in explaining a bar association, explain the difference in like a voluntary and a mandatory bar association.
Right. So there are two separate associations, just generally speaking. One is the mandatory bar association that every state has, regardless of where you are throughout the country. So every lawyer listening to this podcast is going to be a member of that bar. That's the bar that is enforcing the rules and regulations. You have to pay mandatory fees, and of course uh, they do a lot of work as far as legal education, disseminating information. But that's nothing new to anyone listening to this podcast. And what we thought was an interesting idea was the role that voluntary bar associations serve in order to supplement what we all do in our marketing efforts and our day-to-day work as lawyers. So the voluntary bar associations is what I am intimately aware of through my role as the president of the St. Pete Bar Association and a member of that voluntary bar association for the past, almost 22 years. So I thought that would be an interesting segue to sort of explain to the lawyers that, hey, I'm doing it, and I think you all should be doing it too. But again, it's something that is voluntary. And when I say voluntary, I mean what I say. You don't have to belong. There's no form of punishment if you don't belong. There's no form of punishment if you violate anything that's done with the bar association. It's just a great opportunity to A, give back to your community, B, get to know other lawyers, C, network, and D, learn a lot about what is going on in your local your local bar and what other lawyers are doing.
Yeah, I'd like to kind of cover those bullets here in a moment as we get into this conversation. But I think it would help. Are there multiple types of voluntary bar associations? Are there themes? Are there categories that attorneys can look into? Explain that.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, I go to the Florida, because I'm located in St. Petersburg, Florida. So I go to the Florida Voluntary Bar Conference that's held every year, and you would be amazed at all of the different voluntary bar associations that are out there. So we are in a county bar. Okay, we're St. Petersburg Bar, but there are other what we call big bars throughout the state of Florida, at least. And I guarantee that this is the same for every state in the union. But there are also sub-voluntary bar associations, and those would be, you got all kinds of minority bar associations, Hispanic bar association, African-American bar associations, women bar associations. You name it, there's a voluntary bar association that will fit what you're looking for. And it's really, in my opinion, it's a way just for people to identify with and socialize with people that they identify with. So again, we are the big bar. So we are the members, 1,000 plus members. We are the ones with more financial resources. We have staff. We are able to do more things. But these sub bars also serve a very important purpose because it allows those other types of subgroups to find leadership roles, get experience with bar associations, get to know some other people, and then they can also participate in the big bar. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Very helpful. And I'd be curious to know from your experience with the Big Bar Association that you're affiliated with. Do you find that there are any particular practice areas that are more notably represented in these groups? And then the opposite of that, are there underserved practice areas right now that you're seeing?
So my experience has been that we've got greater participation always from family law lawyers, probate lawyers. You've got some litigation lawyers, but as far as the ones that are underserved, I would say the personal injury lawyers are few and far between. Also, criminal defense does not get out there a whole lot. But yeah, it's a topic that we've discussed over and over because for personal injury lawyers, and I am one of those, right? So that's what I do. When I look around at the association meetings, I'm the only guy there, and so why the other PI lawyers don't get involved, I'm not quite sure because it must be a competition thing. I'd be speculating, but when I'm the only guy in town, who do you think is getting the PI referrals?
That's the big piece. I mean, that's the thing I'm hearing. If there are any practice area categories that are underserved, that presents yet another opportunity for those individuals. Which for our listeners, that would be one of the first things that I would encourage is to attend an event. And we're going to talk about a little bit into the events category and what value can be gained from that. But that's a great way just to kind of get a sense of the lay of the land, if you will, and understand, are there competitors in the room? But let's touch on that topic for a moment. So if somebody has the skepticism or the hesitancy to join a bar association like what we're talking about because of fear of, overlap in the marketplace or competition, maybe getting insight into your own business practices, how would you refute that mindset?
Well, I just don't think that that's a concern that any lawyer should have. If you're not out there, you have zero chance to be getting referrals. So look at it that way. You're either in the game or you're not in the game. So again, when I go to these events, a lot of times, don't tell our executive director, these events are at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and I've had a long day, and I think to myself, I can't make it. I don't want to be on tonight. I can't do it. But every single time that I force myself to go, I have a rewarding experience. I get something out of it. And on the way home, I think to myself, wow, I'm glad I went to that event.
Let's touch on that topic because you and I, we've seen each other at conferences. We both travel on occasion, probably me across the country more so than you. And I feel the same way. Naturally, I'm not inclined to hop on a plane and fly across the country and spend time away from my family and my home. There's always an excuse if we're really looking for one, right? So for the attorneys who may have more of a, we'll call it a hermit-like mindset that, as soon as they finish up with the office, they're exhausted, they're ready to get home. How would you approach that and having that conversation with them? I mean, obviously you've seen benefits, but what is it that you found that keeps you coming back and overcoming that hesitancy?
So I'd say the biggest benefit to being involved in a bar association is just the camaraderie and the relationships that you build. So again, if you're a hermit, I'm assuming you don't have a whole lot of relationships or you wouldn't be called a hermit as to your question, right? But if you're an antisocial person or whatever you want to call it, still, you got to get out and meet some people. And I think it's a fantastic way to meet people because everyone's always so inviting at these events. You got to think about it. So we, as the hosts of these association meetings, we want people there. So we have sponsors that are there to meet you that we want to show membership. And so when someone shows up, we're always going to introduce ourselves, try to make you feel welcome, and meet other people. So, I touched on the camaraderie aspect of it, and I suspect this might be one of your areas that you'd like to ask about. But my biggest benefit is the sense of camaraderie and the relationships that I've developed through our bar association. I don't know if I've told you this, but I played baseball my entire life. I played all through college. I was the captain of the baseball team, and the thing that I miss the most about baseball is not actually getting on the field and playing the game. It's my teammates. I look back and those relationships and the guys that we went to, battle with and did all the grueling practice but those are the bonds that I formed, and those are the relationships that I keep to this day, and that's what I miss. Similarly, in the bar associations, you get to know people at all these different events, you develop relationships, and then you'll have a case with them. And yeah, you'll develop a relationship with them. You're going to war or going to battle with them in the case. But again, through knowing them collegially through the bar associations, you're able to have a better experience in the case that you have against them. And you develop bonds that I've really found has been an extremely rewarding aspect, and something that I don't see us as lawyers developing too many other professional bonds in other ways. And so I think it's something that more so than just simply getting referrals, the relationships that you form by going to these events is much more valuable.
And I've experienced that myself personally, just the value of the one-to-one connections and being able to sit down with somebody in person, look them in the eyes, and have a casual conversation. And I think today we've seen this in the last couple of years with this pandemic we've all lived through, the digitization of our society, and people forcing themselves online, and oftentimes kind of stepping back in more of the social settings. And it's clear, I mean, you've invested, you've done a lot in marketing, right? There's no one-dimensional effort in terms of your brand and your presence right now. And over the years, you've always had the mindset that you have to get out there, you have to market in order to be found and to attract cases. And I've seen you do that. So yet this is only, one arrow in the quiver, if you will, but an extremely valuable one. And if you're looking from a competitive standpoint, this truly is an opportunity to stand out above the pack within the marketplace, and really do what everyone else is not taking time to do, and actually get out there in person and mingle. You just get to know individuals. That networking has always proven to provide value to a business owner, and it's the same for an attorney. I want to change gears, I'll say slightly here, because you referenced giving back in that bullet list you shared earlier, as kind of one of the main things that you see as beneficial to these bar associations is the individual's ability and privilege to give back to the legal community, give back to the community as a whole. In some instances, that could be pro bono work, it could be other things, but what are some of those philanthropic elements that you've experienced or you've seen that attorneys can be considering as part of this type of effort?
So you don't get involved in a bar association because you only want referrals. But that's not a good game plan, and that's just, I think, coming from the wrong place. Now you get referrals as a result of being out there, networking, showing yourself, developing trust with other people, and then also giving back. But you get involved in a bar association because you want to actually give back to the community and hopefully learn something along the way. So just for example, the mission of our bar association is to serve the legal community, to strengthen the noble calling of the practice of law, and to foster excellence in the profession. Now, I must admit, I had to read that. I had that up on my other screen. I should have that memorized after being after tooting that horn for years and years. But again, that's the mission, right? So think about it. Serving the legal community, strengthening the noble calling of the practice of law, and fostering excellence in the profession. So what do we do as far as our association? Yes, we have charitable events. At our luncheons, there's usually some charity piece associated with it where there's some giving back. And there are also various events, Habitat for Humanity, you name it. we're doing something all the time. But there are other opportunities, not just of charities. So you can go to a charity and do work. You don't need a bar association to do that necessarily. But there's also pro bono and low bono opportunities. So most of you know what pro bono is, right? Low bono is something that I just found out about only through the bar association. So that means doing work for people that cannot afford to pay your full fee. So the associations will set up a program. Maybe it's $50 an hour that will be the contracted for rate. And so as a young lawyer, again, I didn't have a client base. I'm out there. I'm looking to hustle, right? I'm looking to meet clients, and I get fed some cases from from the senior partners. But you got to eat what you kill. So eventually, right? And that's the same for all of us. We all need our own book. And I got involved in this low bono program. I was just a kid lawyer, and I met some nice people and did some good things. I remember this one lady I did some work for. She was a landscaper. I mean, she was at the edge of retirement. I mean, this poor lady was out there in the sun all day. I mean, it was brutal. I felt so bad for her. But she was a nice lady, and someone stiffed her on her bill, and she was hard up for money, and she could only afford to pay a small amount. I said, hey, I'll take the case. So I helped her out, did a good job for her. And, she wrote me a beautiful letter, beautiful card. I still remember that. But in addition, she went to every single one of her customers. Again, she's a landscaper, so she had a lot of customers, and sang my praises. And as a result, I started getting call after call after call. And it's the same way with other types of pro bono cases and low bono cases I've done. You would be shocked at the return on business for a pro bono or a low bono case compared to a normal paying customer or client, as I should say. But it is the loyalty that these people have to you. And again, you're not doing it for the referrals. I had no idea that was going to happen. But looking back, I said, wow, I'm glad I did that. And I would have only been able to do that through one of the opportunities that the bar associations had available to us. So if that's available to whomever's listening to this in your jurisdiction, I would strongly suggest you get involved in that. You would be shocked at at not only doing a good thing and feeling good about it, but the business rewards that will come.
That's an incredible story, and I'm sure you have many others just like that, because that's often how it works. We live in a world of reciprocity, whether we are intentional about it or not. And I do appreciate you've mentioned this multiple times in clarifying this is not why. It's not the why. It's not the driver. There's a reason you're doing that and giving back. It's because you've been blessed and you continue to do really well in business. And I think having that heart says a lot. And I love that the connection of the bar association is what gave that insight. Are there any other events? I'm just curious. I'm for an attorney who's considering what events they should consider or what's out there. You've mentioned charitable type events. What kind of networking events do you have? Is that something that you're doing regular? What kind of intervals are you meeting on? Can you set the stage there?
Sure. So one of the big benefits is the continuing legal education. The CLEs, right? So you want to learn about what is going on in your practice area, in your community. The bar associations have that information, right? So that's one point. We also have luncheons, several luncheons throughout the course of the year. Then you have the networking and the social aspect. And this is in addition to all the charitable events that you have. But the networking and the social events, our big event is called the judicial reception. So think, who gets invited to the judicial reception? The judges, right? So we get all the judges at our judicial reception. And so they're all right there. We throw a fantastic party, and it's networking, meeting, hanging out with all the judges. And it's just a no-brainer if you're a lawyer going in front of judges to be out there meeting them. I mean, you get a completely different interaction with them than walking up to them on the bench. What I always say is, do you want to be the lawyer who walks into court with your client and the judge says, counsel, what are you here for? Or do you want to be the lawyer when you walk into the courtroom, they say, oh, Mr. McQuaid, What case are you here for? I mean, the clients pick up on those things, right? If you know the judge because you had just spent, 2, 3 hours at an event with them, having a drink and chit chatting, I mean, the clients pick up on those little points, and so your only way to have those types of things happen is to be out there and interacting and putting yourself out there.
Such great lessons there. I can't help but think what I would give just to have, a networking event with some Google execs. It's same concept, I mean, it's the idea is how can you become affiliated with those that are most influential in the industry, and you've named it right there. To me, that's one of the biggest highlights and pros in considering, getting fully involved and participating in a bar association.
So, one of the other benefits that I find is especially for young lawyers, and I would say that this applies to your state attorneys, prosecutors, your public defenders, your city and government workers. And the benefit for them to get involved in the bar associations is because you're probably not going to spend your entire career working for the government, right? I mean, the odds are very slim. So if you're a young lawyer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years out of law school, and you've put in your time at the state or whatever government agency or city that you're working for, where do you think the employers are going to be? The lawyers that are going to potentially hire you, well, they're going to be at these bar association events. And so it is a fantastic way, if you're a young lawyer or a law school student, to be out there and meeting the people who will eventually hire you. Because guess what? I'm one of those guys. I hire the people out of the state attorney's office, right? And so if I get to know you not only at the state, but I see you out and mingling and networking, and I think you can be a rainmaker or somebody that I can get along with, I'm looking at you, right? I'm always looking for legal talent out there. So it's just a fantastic opportunity for these young lawyers to get involved, and a lot of them just don't, and or they get involved only when they start looking for a job, and by then it does look like it doesn't look as right as if they were organically involved from the start. So I do have a piece of advice for young lawyers listening to this. If you want to be around the lawyers that will eventually hire you, go to the bar association events because that's where they all are.
Sean, I've really enjoyed this discussion. Anything else? Any other main points or topics that you would want to share with our listeners around this topic?
Well, I just say it's the bar association. The participation in the bar association is just one key piece to the overall strategy of developing business. Right. So you touched on earlier about the pandemic and what we all went through for the past 18 months. Well, being involved in the bar association specifically, I don't know what I would have done during that time frame if I was not on all these Zoom calls, Zoom meetings, Zoom town halls, you name it, with my bar association, receiving information from the courts, having the chief judge speak to us regularly, letting us know what was going on. And now, if I wasn't so actively involved, I would have been really scared out there, and I bet you a lot of lawyers were because of the unknown. But because I was involved, I was receiving that information on a second to second basis as far as what the changes were. So again, did that help me? Yes, but it's one piece in the overall marketing puzzle, right? So you're out there, you're face to face, and you're developing those relationships. But again, and what we all do, we still need to blog. We still need to shoot videos. We still need to get our reviews. We still need to look good online. I mean, it's everything works together. It's like a web, right? And so the better you do in all of these phases, I've found the better the referrals are, and the better we do overall. One last piece. Again, I'm not here to be the salesperson for bar associations, but I think it's an important aspect, and I think that every lawyer should be involved. They don't need to be attending every single meeting. They don't need to be president of the bar association. But think about this. When a client is referred to a lawyer, maybe they're given a list of 2 or 3 names. What are the next steps that they'll typically do? They'll go online and they'll Google that lawyer, right? So if you're set up and you're looking tight online, which I hope I am, A, they've got a good impression. But then B, if they also see that the person that they're Googling is the president of the Bar Association, I would think that is a pretty good verification that the referral is going to be a good one. And when they look at the other people that are not involved, they don't have that on their resume. I think I am the more obvious choice, right? We always talk about obvious. Are you the obvious choice online? How are your reviews compared to your competitors? Well, same as with your resume. Are you going to be the obvious choice with your resume? I strive to be, and that's just part of our overall plan here. And like I said, I did not do this for referrals. I did it to give back, and the referrals that have come as a result have been rewarding, and they have more than made up for the time that I have spent giving back to the Bar Association, if you know what I mean.
Totally understand that, and hopefully listeners have picked up on that, because it is a rising tide lifts all boats. As often as I've said that concept has never been more true around just what you're talking about. It's all important. It's a matter of prioritizing each and every one of these elements in order to essentially build credibility, meet more contacts, grow that network. It's always going to benefit the business owner in that respect, and all the while benefiting the community, because it is a matter of, when you're making those connections, just as you said, they're likely going to call you up when they have a case that they're not interested in handling or they can't handle, and vice versa. It's you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. And it's a really great concept and such a tight-knit community. Sean, thank you for this, and very, very enjoyable as always in talking with you. Thank you for sharing those insights. If anyone has questions or wants to get with you individually, what's the best way that they can reach you?
Well, either phone is 727-381-2300. My email is smcqu@brdwlaw.com, or just Google me.
Very good. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Tim.
Lawsome by ConsultWebs with Tanner Jones. For show notes, links, and info, go to consultwebs.com/podcast. Be sure to subscribe and leave us a review. Watch for the next Lawsome episode to discover more breakthrough insights to build a thriving law firm.